Hello, it's Jojo, and today we're going to look at some of my farms and village builds, starting with this here. It's a netherwart farm, if you hadn't already figured that out. Sort of a semi-automatic farm. I still have to plant things manually, but yeah, this is a sort of a standard design. You probably recognize the pattern. It is a water spread pattern, and I have these water buckets here that will automatically harvest. And as I said, I have to still manually do the planting. I have found that the combination of Swift Sneak 3 and Soul Speed 3 is pretty good for planting the netherwort while I'm sneaking. Maybe you're wondering why I would even need so much netherwort, and the truth is I don't really need it, but I like building with red nether brick. I sometimes trade it with my cleric villagers, and I use a little bit for potions. So anyway, this is my giant underground room, sort of a laboratory. My plan was to fill it up with farms, but these are the only farms I have. The netherwort farm, and then some pumpkin melon farms. This one's pumpkins. And these melon farms, I added an auto crafter here so that it will craft the slices back into melon blocks. Another useful function of the auto crafter. So all of this space is just kind of unused, has not been utilized. I cleared this whole space out in search of emerald ore. The server has a plugin that lets you get mining trophies when you're lucky. So silk touching ores and then mining them later with the fortune pick is pretty common practice. And of course, emerald ore is pretty difficult to get because you can only dig it from inside of a mountain. So I cleared this whole big space out from under this mountain. And when I had this big empty space and I built the little laboratory, I decided I want to build a nice underground village. So this is my underground village. And of course, a village can be any kind of a structure as long as there are villagers and job blocks and beds. So I actually started the village by curing some zombie villagers, and then I kept them safe while I built the village. The inside building there is like a temple where all the clerics work, and then this outer ring is a combination of apartments and libraries. So the downstairs are libraries, the upstairs are apartments. And then on the outside here, we've got some little farmer's hut and some farm plots. This village isn't complete yet. I'm planning in this empty space in between to put all of the other villager buildings, probably some more huts, and blacksmith, leather worker, you name it, stonemasons, all of the other jobs. Not sure if I'm going to be able to complete that before they reset the map, though, because that's going to be happening soon. On the ceiling, I started this mural here, which is based on the cover of my new album. It's a little seated Shabadoo mandala, and I only finished the center part of it. I left this layer up here because I was planning to finish the rest of it, but I haven't done that yet. This next farm, interestingly enough, someone else built it, and I found it, and it wasn't completed yet. Only 3 of these arms had been completed, so I decided to finish the farm for them and use it because they didn't seem to be playing anymore. And as you probably guessed, it's an iron farm, and it works pretty well. I added a little auto sheep farm down here, and I also added some cows. I'm growing some wheat for the cows and the sheep, and I have some free-range sheep here. Occasionally there's a daily challenge where you have to shear sheep, so I needed some of them that weren't in the auto farm. Inside the farm, we've got an auto crafter, which is crafting all of the iron ingots into iron blocks. I also made an item sorter here to sort all of the poppies, separate them from the iron ingots. This auto crafter has a pretty clever little design. It uses a pot here with 37 items inside, which, using the comparator, gives the same charge as 9 items in the crafter. Therefore, when this fills up with 9 items, the signals match and a signal sent into the block here, and the item is crafted. Downstairs, these are all of the barrels that we have the wool in. This is a little shortcut to the cow farm. And then on this side, I've got a little cave spider farm. My bane of arthropods sword here, named Splat. And somewhere in there, we've got some cave spiders. Here they come. I don't often use bricks, just the regular bricks, but I found out they go quite nicely with the copper. The color's a pretty nice match. So I thought I would give them a try, see how they look. This next farm here is a gunpowder farm. And it uses a design with snow golems instead of cats. Apparently cats are a little bit bugged now. So I saw this design on wattles, I think. I could break these fires and just use a looting sword, and that would be a little bit faster to get the gunpowder. So it's a pretty straightforward design. There's levels where the creepers spawn, and then there is a snow golem in the middle, and the creepers try to attack the snow golem and fall into the trap. Let's turn on my gamma utility. There we go. So real basic design. The carpet keeps spiders from spawning. Trapdoors above keep the skeletons and zombies from spawning. And these trapdoors here, they make the creepers think they can get across to attack the snow golems. Buttons are to keep anything from spawning on these blocks here. And then the water funnel sends them to where they take fall damage, and then the rest of the job is done by the campfires. Okay, this next build is another village. This is the basement. I actually filled this, or I put a roof on this. This was kind of a valley here. I wanted a nice big flat space. And I like building villages in unusual places, or I guess non-standard places. And you might notice by the color of the water here that we are in a swamp biome. So let's go upstairs and check out the village. So because it is the swamp village, I wanted to use the swamp villager colors. You might already know that there are special outfits for villagers who live in the swamp. They have little purple robes, purple and green robes. So I made the houses purple and green with some nice dark oak to complement them. We've got our stonemasons, our blacksmiths. This is the library. This is a temple. Just having fun with the color palette. We've got our Fletcher here. I believe over here is a cartographer. Yeah. More huts. And then I think down here on this end of the village, I made a second library. Someone left the door open, probably me. Oh, good, it's raining. And down here, I have a little bee colony. Getting some honeycombs and some honey bottles. As with many of my village builds, they're kind of never really finished. There's still some job buildings that haven't been built. I don't have a leather worker. I don't have farmers yet. There's no fishermen. You could see down there at the bottom of those stairs, there's a little pond. That's where I'm planning to build the fisherman hut. And there's still quite a bit of space in here. Probably this end would be where I put farmers and shepherds and stuff. Also, there's no butcher yet. You could see there are quite a few livestock animals. So those are my main overworld builds. I think the next episode I'll show you some of the builds that I made in the Nether. I hope you enjoyed our little tour. Thanks for stopping by. Thanks for hanging out. And I'll see you in the next episode. Bye.